Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. News alerts flashed across screens. Supreme Court strikes down Trump tariffs. In an instant, the nation's attention was riveted. Notifications buzzed on phones, televisions interrupted regular programming, and social media feeds exploded with the breaking news. The decision was everywhere, impossible to ignore, and its implications were immediately felt. Headlines blared, Section 232 tariffs deemed unconstitutional in a landmark ruling. The words echoed across front pages and news tickers, signaling a dramatic reversal of a policy that had shaped American trade for years. For many, it was a headline they never expected to see. In newsrooms nationwide, anchors scrambled and experts were dialed in. Producers rushed to update scripts. Analysts prepared to explain the complex legal and economic ramifications. And phones rang off the hook as journalists sought reactions from politicians, business leaders, and everyday Americans. This wasn't just about law or economics. It was a seismic shift for the country. The ruling struck at the heart of national debates over trade, executive power, and America's role in the world. It was a moment that would be remembered for years to come. Years of trade wars and economic uncertainty had led to this moment. Factories had closed, jobs had shifted, and entire industries had been reshaped by the tariffs. The Supreme Court's decision marked the end of one era and the uncertain beginning of another. On the streets, reactions ranged from confusion to relief. Some people paused, reading headlines in disbelief, while others exchanged hopeful glances, wondering if this could mean better days ahead. For many, the news brought more questions than answers. For some, it was a long-awaited victory. For others, a cause for concern about American industries. Small business owners hoped for lower costs, while factory workers worried about job security. In cafes and workplaces, debates erupted over what the ruling would mean for families and communities. The decision's impact was vast, touching every corner of the economy. From sprawling farmlands to bustling city centers, from high-tech offices to traditional manufacturing plants, no sector was left untouched. The ripple effects would be felt in every industry, big and small. From farmers to factory workers, tech CEOs to small shop owners, everyone wondered, what now? Would markets stabilize, or would new uncertainties emerge? The future was suddenly wide open, and every American was searching for answers. The Supreme Court's decision wasn't just an end, it was the start of a new, uncertain chapter for America's place in the global economy. The ruling set the stage for new negotiations, new policies, and perhaps new conflicts on the world stage. The world was watching, and the next steps would be critical. Allies and rivals alike analyzed the decision, preparing for shifts in trade and diplomacy. As America stood at a crossroads, the eyes of the globe remained fixed on what would happen next. The Supreme Court's ruling was decisive. The executive branch had overstepped its authority under Section 232. The justices found the definition of national security had been stretched far beyond the law's original intent. The Constitution gives Congress, not the president, primary power over trade. The court didn't judge the tariffs' economic impact but focused on the separation of powers. Congress must have a direct say in major economic policies. The ruling means future trade actions based on national security will face strict legal scrutiny. The non-delegation doctrine was key. Congress can't hand over core powers to the executive. This decision reaffirms checks and balances, ensuring sweeping trade policies require a constitutionally sound process. The Supreme Court's decision has sent shockwaves through the corridors of power in Washington, D.C. This landmark ruling didn't just make headlines, it fundamentally altered the direction of U.S. trade strategy, forcing policymakers to rethink their approach to global commerce. For years, the United States relied heavily on unilateral tariffs and aggressive trade measures to protect domestic industries and assert its economic interests. But now, that era is coming to a close. The White House faces a new reality. It must pivot away from go-it-alone tactics and embrace a more collaborative diplomatic path. The focus is shifting from confrontation to cooperation. Instead of imposing tariffs on trading partners, the administration is turning to diplomacy, building bridges with allies, and forging new partnerships. The era of acting alone is over. The future lies in alliances and shared solutions. Expect to see American negotiators returning to the world's major trade tables, working closely with organizations like the World Trade Organization. These forums will become central to shaping the rules of global commerce and resolving disputes through dialogue rather than threats. The new strategy emphasizes stable, long-term agreements that benefit all parties. U.S. officials are seeking to create frameworks that foster predictability and trust, moving away from the uncertainty of sudden tariffs or trade wars. Instead of taxing allies and risking diplomatic rifts, the U.S. will now focus on building coalitions to tackle shared economic and security challenges. This approach strengthens America's position on the world stage and helps address issues like supply chain resilience, technology standards, and fair competition. This shift requires patient diplomacy and the careful crafting of multilateral agreements. It's a slower process, but one that promises more durable and widely accepted outcomes. At home, the administration must reassure American industries that their interests will still be protected. Instead of broad tariffs, the government will use targeted legal tools, like anti-dumping cases, negotiated quotas, and strategic safeguards, to address unfair trade practices and support key sectors. The emphasis now is on precision and legality, ensuring that every action taken is firmly grounded in international law and trade agreements. Sweeping, unpredictable measures are being replaced by thoughtful, rules-based responses. In many ways, this marks a return to America's traditional trade posture, one that values alliances over isolation, negotiation over unilateral decrees, and stability over volatility. The Supreme Court's ruling is a turning point, pushing U.S. strategy back toward a stable, rules-based international order. It's a reminder that America's greatest strength has always come from working with others, not standing alone. In today's interconnected world, American economic strength depends on global cooperation, open markets, and the ability to adapt to new challenges alongside trusted partners. This is more than just a policy change, it's a profound shift in how America engages with the world, signaling a new era of diplomacy, partnership, and shared prosperity. The business community's reaction was immediate and divided. Manufacturers relying on imported metals celebrated, lower costs could mean cheaper products and more jobs. Domestic steel and aluminum producers, however, voiced deep concern about renewed foreign competition. They're urging the government to find new legal ways to protect American jobs. Small businesses, often squeezed by higher input costs, welcome the stability and predictability. The agricultural sector, hit hard by retaliatory tariffs, also saw hope for reopening foreign markets. With tariffs gone, retaliatory measures may be lifted, restoring vital export opportunities. For many, the decision means a return to planning for the future with confidence. The ruling brings relief to some, anxiety to others, but all agree, the landscape has changed. American businesses are bracing for a new era. For everyday consumers, the Supreme Court's decision could mark a turning point, signaling the possibility of lower prices on a wide range of goods that people rely on daily. From groceries to household essentials, the impact may be felt in every aisle and checkout line. Previously, tariffs on steel and aluminum had quietly driven up the costs of many products, cars, appliances, and even something as simple as canned food. These extra costs were often passed down to shoppers, making it harder for families to stretch their budgets. Now, with those tariffs removed, manufacturers and producers are expected to see their expenses drop. This reduction in production costs could translate into real savings at the register, as companies compete to offer better prices and attract more customers. Even modest price reductions can make a significant difference over time. For families managing tight budgets, every dollar saved on groceries or household goods adds up, helping them put more money towards savings, education, or other priorities. The end of the tariff era also brings a sense of stability to the marketplace. When prices are less volatile, consumers feel more confident about spending, which can boost overall economic activity and support local businesses. On a broader scale, the lifting of retaliatory tariffs on American products abroad could help protect and even create jobs at home. U.S. manufacturers may find it easier to sell their goods overseas, supporting workers and communities across the country. Iconic American brands, once squeezed out of foreign markets, now have a chance to regain lost ground. This renewed access can help stabilize the economy and ensure that American-made products remain competitive on the world stage. The ripple effects of the Supreme Court's decision will be felt not just in household budgets, but also in job markets and local economies. More affordable goods and stronger exports can mean more opportunities for workers and families alike. For many Americans, this decision offers a welcome relief after years of uncertainty and rising costs brought on by trade disputes. It's a chance to look forward with renewed optimism. Ultimately, the Supreme Court's ruling promises a more predictable and stable economic future for everyone, from families and workers to business owners and communities across the nation. The Supreme Court's decision echoed worldwide, met with relief and cautious optimism. European leaders hailed it as a win for international law and trade stability. Canada and Mexico, major U.S. partners, welcomed the move, hoping for smoother regional cooperation. Asian allies like Japan and South Korea saw it as a return to predictable U.S. trade policy. For them, stable supply chains and de-escalation are key benefits. China's response was measured. While exporters benefit, deeper disputes remain unresolved. The ruling removes a major point of friction, but global trade challenges persist. The world is watching America's next move. The Supreme Court's decision has redrawn political battle lines in Washington. For the administration, it's both a legal victory and a political challenge, losing a bargaining chip but gaining a mandate for diplomacy. Lawmakers from manufacturing districts decry the ruling, demanding new protections. Representatives from agricultural and export-heavy regions praise the decision. The debate cuts across party lines driven by local economic interests. Lobbyists on both sides are ramping up campaigns. Industry groups want new safeguards, while business coalitions push for open trade. Trade policy will remain a hot-button issue in upcoming elections. Politicians must now choose protectionism or open markets. The outcome will shape America's economic direction for years. The Supreme Court's ruling sets a powerful legal precedent, reshaping the balance of power in Washington. By invoking the non-delegation doctrine, the court warns Congress against granting broad powers to the executive. Future presidents must now provide clear evidence when invoking national security for economic actions. The bar for justifying tariffs is much higher. Legal scholars see this as a potential turning point for federal regulation, possibly affecting agencies beyond trade. The decision creates short-term legal uncertainty as courts interpret the new standard, but it arms challengers with a new tool to contest executive overreach. The debate over government power is far from over. The Supreme Court's decision ushers in a new era for U.S. and global trade. The immediate challenge dismantling tariffs and restoring stable supply chains. The U.S. will likely re-engage with the World Trade Organization and pursue targeted strategic trade agreements. Expect more flexible, sector-specific deals on critical minerals, semiconductors, or AI standards. The ruling is a reset, offering a chance to build a more resilient, equitable global trading system. The lessons of the tariff era will shape future policy. The path forward is uncertain, but the promise of cooperation and shared growth is within reach.